Becoming a lawyer was so very important to me. My grandmother became a lawyer in the 1920s, and her sister was also a lawyer, and while she was alive, that was always her dream for me, because I like to talk a lot. And as you know, lawyers like to talk a lot usually. So when I became a lawyer, and I got a job in the state attorney's office, the opportunity to be able to serve this community by trying cases in the courtrooms where people suffer so many horrible experiences, both the defendants, the victims, the family members, the witnesses, the police officers, that whole dynamic that goes on in our criminal justice system, for me, was what I did every day and what I look forward to doing every day. I also was committed to being a trial lawyer, which you are as an assistant state attorney, and I strove for excellence every single day when I was in the courtrooms of this community. And I'm also committed to this community. During the last 10 years, I've served as a mentor to many different organizations, to girls and boys, to help them achieve their dreams. I want to tell you that being a judge is a very important job in this community. Those of you who someday might end up in a courtroom as a victim, witness, or defendant need to know your judges. I ask for your vote. You will know when you vote for me, by looking at my track record, by looking at who I am, that you will get a fair judge who will consider all the options for defendants who come before her. Thank you. I'm 107 on the ballot, Flora Seth. Thank you.
And now we're going to have Judge Edward Newman, who's running in County Court Group 7.
I don't want to get in trouble, so I want to recognize my wife. She's twice the politician. She's Kathy Newman. Ladies, Pastor White and Joy, thank you for the opportunity. Good to see all of you folks. Let's go to the beginning, if you don't mind. I come from Long Island, New York, and I hope you don't hold it against me, but I happen to be a pretty good student and a pretty good athlete back in Syosset High School, Long Island, New York. I have a choice to go to any school in the country, but being educated in the top possible school was important to me, so I chose Duke University. But that continued, and I continued to have excellence both academically, very important to me, and athletically, so much so that the Miami Dolphins drafted me in 1973, and we went on to win the Super Bowl. And I spoke, I've had 4 opportunities for being an All-Pro, and 3 Super Bowls in that time. I also went to the University of Miami School of Law at night to obtain my law. That happened in 1987. So it was a 1973 span and 1984 season. It was a long span. Earlier, I was saying hello and greeting all the folks here, and a few of you have mentioned that I greet jurors on occasion when they come to our Richard E. Gerson Criminal Justice Building. I'd like to try and use the same kind of approach now, if I can. When we were playing ball for the Miami Dolphins at the old Orange Bowl, all of you folks, fans who came out, they were wonderful, used to rise to your feet, and it was just great. And I wondered, well, why do you do that? Why did you do that? You did it because you liked the characters that were out there. We were great athletes, and we won every game. And we did things in the off-season or off the field that were good for the community.
Well, after finishing high school, my parents told me, look, we don't have the money to send you to college. You got to do it on your own. I got a job working at Hermon at nights, and I put myself through school. After I graduated, I went to Broward Community College and then UM, and then UM Law. After I graduated from law school, I worked at Legal Aid Society, which I thought it was very fitting because I had an opportunity to give back. For almost 11 years, I worked representing the poor and indigent. I did over 1,000 cases, had more than 2,000 hearings before 73 judges in the 4-county area. Despite being that litigious and being in court every day, I never received a bar complaint. And as a matter of fact, I received a professionalism award from the Dade County Bar Association in the year 2000. While I was in legal aid, I realized the importance of giving back. I got involved in a lot of community activities and other things like that. For instance, I got involved with Kids Club, where we take foster kids, we take them bowling, take them to the zoo, take them to Santa's Enchanted, to Disney World, and other things like that. I also did Wheels and Wheels. We're going to community and do wheels for the elderly for free. I also work for Deaf Services. What I mean is I volunteered, and I put a Deaf Services Bureau from between 5 to 7 years. I did that, and I would take applications, find out what their problems are, and refer them out to other attorneys. Ever since becoming the judge, I continue to do that type of work. I started a program called Becoming a Man, in which I bring young children into the Care Center to talk about life issues. I raffle off a free iPod, which I pay for. I give them free breakfast, and I also give them treats so that they'll participate in the discussion. It's a forum discussion, with the idea being to try and catch them before they get into trouble.
So also in group 45 is Samantha Ruiz Cohen, so if you want to write that in. I'm going to have Samantha, and then I'm going to have the person in your program start first in the next group, if that makes any sense. So let's have Samantha Ruiz Cohen, because she's also in group 45 with you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Samantha Ruiz Cohen. What kind of judge do most folks want? What kind of judge? A fair judge. Someone that'll treat everyone with respect. Someone that'll treat everyone that walks into the courtroom with respect and with fairness, no matter what. A judge that has the support from the lawyers, not only from one side, but from both sides. Someone who's been active in the community, giving to the community. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why I am running for circuit court judge. My name is Samantha Ruiz Cohen. I'm running for circuit court judge. And I'm running for circuit court judge because I want to make a difference. And I've been wanting to make a difference since I've been 9 years old. You see, my mom, who's 82 years old, found a poster that I drew when I was in 4th grade, 9 years old, where I drew the Samantha Judge and the Slow Bird. My parents taught my sister and I community service to give back to the community. My sister's been a teacher in Dade County Public Schools for as long as I remember. When I went to school, when I went to high school, when I went to university at the University of Miami, when I went to law school, I knew that I wanted to be in public service.
It was a tremendous pleasure to be back here. My wife and I were able to worship with you a couple of weeks ago. We go to Old Cutler Presbyterian. In fact, I'm an elder at Old Cutler, and you know what they call the Presbyterians, right? The frozen chosen. So when we came to church here at Greater Bethel AME, needless to say, we had a very good time. You all were very sweet to us. Thanks so much. In the very brief time I've got, I want to tell you a little bit about me, a little bit about this campaign, and talk a little bit about what it is to be a judge. Now, I have a confession to make here in this house of God. I was not born in Miami-Dade County, but I got here as fast as I could. I came here 20 years ago when I was a newsman. I'm a second career lawyer. I was a newspaper reporter for 12 years. I covered primarily the military and law enforcement, but when I came down here, I finally got some inside work, and I got to cover the courts. I covered the federal courts, the Noriega trial, a big judicial corruption trial. And to be honest, I got tired of lawyers telling me, if you think you can do this, go to law school. So I went home to my wife, whom some of you have met, Josie Deverano. We've been married 18 years. At the time, she was 7 months pregnant with our first son, Nicholas. And I said, say, honey, how about if we go to law school? Well, you have to know her. She didn't hesitate. She said, yes, sweetheart, let's go to law school. And we went to law school. By the grace of God and with her help, I did very well at the University of Miami. I graduated sixth in my class of 340. I graduated summa cum laude. I have a good friend who says he graduated thank you laude. But if they'd put my wife's name on the diploma next to mine, I'd have done it. When I got out of law school, I'm very proud to say that I started representing folks like you. I work as a commercial litigator, and what that means is that I represent to run for anything. And it has been a tremendous experience. There's 1,100,000 voters in Miami-Dade County. That's more voters than in 10 states. If you want to be the governor of Maine, you have to reach fewer voters. And I will tell you that reaching voters has been the very best part of this whole process. I've had some wonderful endorsements. My wife is a 25-year master teacher, so I was very proud to be endorsed by the United Teachers of Dade. I also was endorsed by the Wilkie D. Ferguson Bar Association. Having your name says Wilkie D. Ferguson is an honor. People go to court on the worst day of their lives. They're in trouble, their business is in trouble, their family's in trouble. When they get there, they need someone who has enough experience inside and outside the courtroom, a broad enough life experience, enough intelligence, work ethic, drive to get them and to get it right for them.
I want you to know that judges are so important to our community. If I'm elected, I'm going to be the type of judge that anyone will be proud to go before, because I understand what people need from their judges. They need someone who's honest, who understands what happens in a courtroom. They need someone who understands that people sometimes do lie in court. Any kind of people. It can be police officers, it can be civilians. People have their different motivations for what they say. You need a person who's dealt with real trials and real life experiences, and that's me. I'm touch number 102. My name is Monica Gordon, and judges can't make a lot of promises, but one thing I can promise you is that if I become a judge in this community, I'm going to be a great judge for the entire community. And I will listen and give everybody a meaningful opportunity to be heard. I hope you remember me and vote for me, because I would be honored to be your next circuit court judge. Thank you.
Thank you.